Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be going over every single Premier League club's best ever Premier League win. When I say best ever Premier League win, it could even mean the most significant win that did the team good in the long run, or the most impressive win when they either beat the odds or they thrashed a team. So I'll get straight on with it anyway. Arsenal, Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1, May 2002. Yeah, this, of course, winning the league at Old Trafford any time is an amazing achievement, but winning the league when at Old Trafford Man United are in the peak of their powers is even better. So 2002 Man United were a very good team at this point, of course. They were pretty much dominating England most years, but this year was Arsenal's year. I could have easily gone for the 2004 against Tottenham, of course, but that game was a draw, and I'm only including victories in this video. But yeah, this was a huge win for Arsenal. As Sylvain Wiltord's second half goal secured the title for them. Yeah, it was a great win for Arsenal, of course. To go away to Manchester United and win the title, especially a very good Man United team, it's one that Arsenal fans will never forget. I'm sure no Arsenal fans will be complaining about this one. Aston Villa 7, Wimbledon 1. Yeah, quite surprisingly, this Villa win isn't really significant. I mean, it was in a way because they actually only stayed in the league by 5 points in the end. And, they finished 18th, but back here there was 22 teams in the Premier League. And Wycombe Wanderers had Wimbledon, had a really good season. They finished 8th or 9th, I believe it was, in the Premier League. So this win was impressive. And to win 7-1, to be Villa's biggest ever win at Villa Park, it is an impressive achievement, to be fair. They're 1-0 down as well against a Wimbledon team who had a very good season. So I'd say this win it was significant in a way because Villa did stay up, but this game was only in February, so I won't say it kept Villa up, but it certainly helped them on the way. And yeah, overall, those 1-0 down to win 7-1, Villa's biggest ever win at Villa Park in the Premier League. So yeah, I'd go with this one. Bournemouth, Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 3, January 2018. Yeah, very good victory this one for Bournemouth. January 2018, Bournemouth are in a relegation battle. They're travelling to Stamford Bridge against a Chelsea team who were doing all right at the time, but they weren't really up there in the title race. But, they were the current Premier League champions at this point, though. But Bournemouth went to Stamford Bridge, won 3-0, and this really boosted Bournemouth for the rest of the season. I feel like this win was pretty much responsible for them maybe staying up, not being in more of a relegation battle in the end. But yeah, massively important win for Bournemouth, and a very impressive one as well. So this win was both important and impressive. So yeah, I've got to say this one for Bournemouth. They've had a few victories over Chelsea in the Premier League era that have been good, but I'm definitely going to go with this one because it's away at Stamford Bridge and it was 3-0. Brighton and Hove Albion, Brighton 1, Manchester United 0, May 2018. Yeah, sticking with the 2017-18 season, this was a big one for Brighton, the game that kept them in the Premier League. I mean, Brighton probably would have stayed up anyway, but to confirm their Premier League status for next season by beating Man United 1-0. It wasn't a bad Man United team either, to be fair. They actually finished second this year, Man United, on 81 points, but Brighton hosted them and won 1-0. It was a Friday night at the Amex Stadium. It was rocking this night as well. So yeah, brilliant stuff, to be fair. So yeah, Brighton, easy choice for Brighton this one. There was no other game that even comes close. Burnley, Chelsea 2, Burnley 3, August 2017. Yeah, once again, sticking with the 17-18 season, this seems to be a lot of teams' favourite year. So Burnley were travelling to Stamford Bridge, Premier League champions, Chelsea on the opening day of the season. Everyone pretty much tipped Burnley to be in a relegation battle, while people were tipping Chelsea to be up there for the title again. And Burnley were 3-0 up at half-time. The red card actually happened for Gary Cahill in the opening few minutes, but 2 goals from Sam Vokes and a volley from Stephen Ward put Burnley 3-0 up at half-time. Even against a 10-man Chelsea, I think this was beyond Burnley's wildest dreams to be 3-0 up at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea did pull 2 second-half goals back, to be fair to them, but overall though this was, and they actually ended the game with 9 men as well, but great result for Burnley. And Burnley went on to finish 7th in this season as well, so really does sum up just how big this win was for them. It really elevated their season. So I could have gone with a 1-0 win over Man United in August 2009, a very good United team, but I'm going to stick with this one. I think this is a fair one for Burnley, and away from home as well. Chelsea, Bolton Wanderers 0, Chelsea 2, April 2005. Yeah, the reason I give this one is because, this isn't Chelsea's most impressive win of the Premier League era by any means, but it was the one to give them their first Premier League title in 50 years. And if you ask any older sort of Chelsea fan or any Chelsea fan who was alive to witness this is probably their favourite moment. And 50-year wait for the Premier League. I mean, Liverpool have just ended a 30-year wait, but 50 years, go away to Bolton Wanderers, a tough place to go at the time, 1-2-0. it was a great day to be a Chelsea fan, of course. And since this moment, Chelsea have gone on to win another. It's 4 Premier League titles, so just really proves how this win kind of kicked Chelsea's reign off. Could have gone for a 2-1 win over Liverpool in May 2003, actually, when that game actually got them Champions League football and really started the Abramovich era. But I'm going to go with the title win instead. I really think this game was huge for Chelsea. I think they probably wouldn't have won the league anyway, but still, to end the 50-year wait was quite something. Crystal Palace, Man City 2, Crystal Palace 3, December 2018. Yeah, this game doesn't really hold a lot of significance, if I'm being honest. I mean, Palace finished mid-table and Man City won the Premier League, and Palace are capable of springing an upset away at the big teams. We've seen that in the past, but I'm going to say this one against Man City was probably the best one they've ever done. A game that included an absolute brilliant goal from Andros Townsend as well. One that, one of the best cleanest hit volleys I've ever seen. But yeah, overall, this was brilliant from a brilliant win for Palace. And yeah, I mean, this was a Man City team who got 198 points in 2 seasons. Everyone expected them to roll over Palace in this game, Man City. But that didn't happen. So Palace came out 1-3-2. Great performance. And I think this is definitely Palace's best win. It was a very good all-round performance from them. Everton 3, Liverpool 0, September 2006. Well, this is relatively depressing if you're an Everton fan. Yeah, I couldn't think of anything else for Everton, to be honest with you. I've been through a few victories for Everton over the years, and I literally think this is their biggest ever one. So, I mean, they barely beat Liverpool, to be honest, Everton, especially these days. But this win was a very good one. 4th game of the season, a 3-0 win at Goodison. But yeah, I mean, I can't think of another win for Everton, and that's actually quite depressing. I'm sorry, Everton fans, but yeah, I mean, it's still a 3-0 win over your Merseyside rivals. I guess Everton will always have that to speak about, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. Leicester City, Manchester City 1, Leicester City 3, February 2016. Yeah, the reason I go for this victory and not the 9-0 earlier on in the season against Southampton is because I think this win is the one where everyone started to believe that Leicester City could win the Premier League title. February 26th, they're travelling to Man City, the team who I think most thought would be Leicester's closest challengers. That didn't end up happening, but yeah, this was a game that most people thought City would just about edge, but no, Leicester City won 3-1, 2 from Robert Huth and 1 from Riyad Mahrez. This was the game where everyone, Leicester fans, neutrals, really started to believe Leicester City can go on and win the title, and that's exactly what happened. But yeah, I've got to go with this. I've got to go with one from Leicester's title-winning season. It'd be silly not to. Yeah, huge for this for Leicester. 3-1 win. Yeah, nothing more to say. I mean, obviously they won the Premier League, and I'm sure Leicester fans would say one of the wins from this season. I've got to go with City away. Liverpool, Manchester United 1, Liverpool 4, March 2009. Yeah, kind of contradicting myself a little bit here because, Liverpool didn't win the Premier League title in this season and they just have this season, but I can't really think of a win from this season that's absolutely massive for Liverpool. I mean, they've had some big wins, of course, some games where they've showed a lot of heart and gone all the way to the final whistle. But I'm going to go with this one against Man United, a very good Man United team who just won the Premier League 3 times in a row, or about to. And then the Man United team who's going to their 2nd consecutive Champions League final. So I'm going to go with this one because to beat this Man United team 4-1 was quite something. I mean, to beat this Man United team at Old Trafford in general was an achievement, but to do it 4-1 and so convincingly really did mean a lot to Liverpool. Just a shame Liverpool couldn't go on and win the Premier League, as this win would have been so much more significant. But yeah, I'm going to go this one. They were 4-1 win in March 2009. Sounds weird that it didn't actually lead to anything for Liverpool, but I think this win was just impressive more than important. Manchester City 3, QPR 2, May 2012. Yeah, I think everyone knew it was going to be this one, didn't they? I mean, Man City, QPR, one of the most well-known, if not the most well-known Premier League game ever. Yeah, I mean, just, amazing. But I could have gone for a 1-0 win over Man United a few weeks earlier, because if City didn't win that game, this game would have never happened. But the reason I'm saying this is the way Man City won it, of course. It looked like for a long time that City were going to bottle it, throw the title away at home to a nearly relegated QPR. But in the end, though, the Sergio Aguero moment happened, and as we all know what that was. But yeah, this was just crazy. 3-2 victory. Beating QPR at home for City wasn't the same, but it's the way it happened, really. And the fact to give Man City their first title in such a long time as well. Massive moment for City in their history. Manchester United, Man United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1, May 1993. Sounds weird, the fact for Man United I'm going all the way back to the opening season of the Premier League era, but the reason I'm doing this is because I believe if this game doesn't happen, if Man United don't beat Sheffield Wednesday, they don't win the Premier League, the Sir Alex Ferguson era never happens, which sounds crazy to believe, really. What would a football have looked like today if Sir Alex Ferguson hadn't had so much success with Man United? I think that this is like the game that really started that. I mean, most people look at it like this. If Ferguson hadn't won the Premier League, he probably would have been gone. But no, this was massive for Man United. I think they wouldn't have had the Ferguson era and the amount of success without it. So I'm going to have to go with this one. Surprisingly, after all the success United have had in the Premier League, I'm picking one from the very first season. But yeah, I'd go with this one because, you know, how important it was for Man United's future in the grand scheme of things. Newcastle United 5, Manchester United 0, 1996-1997 season. Yeah, I'm going to go with this one because I can't really think of a major significant one for Newcastle, really. But, you know, they beat Man United 5-0, a Man United team who won the Premier League this season, and a very impressive Man United team who, again, were winning title after title. So to win 5-0 against that team was very impressive. So not very significant because United still went on to win the league, but I'd say it was impressive more than anything, especially to beat this Man United team 5-0. A major off day for United, of course. But yeah, this Newcastle fans who live long enough will remember this one. Norwich City 3, Manchester City 2, 2019-2020. Yeah, this sounds quite weird, the fact that Norwich City have got a win from this season, bearing in mind it's been a fairly miserable campaign for Norwich, relegated quite convincingly. But yeah, I'm going to go with this one because I think this was a game where Norwich City actually went toe-to-toe with Man City, believe it or not, and beat them. So a game where Norwich City had an injury crisis in defence. Everyone thought Man City were going to walk this game, and it was a case of how many was City going to get. That didn't happen, though. Norwich City won the match 3-2, a very impressive performance all round. And yeah, probably the biggest shock result of the season, bar one, which I'll mention a little bit later. But yeah, I'm going to have to go with this one for Norwich. They've had a couple of impressive wins in the Premier League era, to be fair to them, but this one against the Man City team who just won the title 2 years in a row, and the fact they had an injury crisis was amazing. But again, this win was just impressive. It wasn't significant because Norwich City did get relegated convincingly, but it makes you wonder where this win actually came from. Sheffield United 2, Manchester United 1, August 1992. Yeah, going back to the very first weekend of the Premier League era now, from the first season to the, that I mentioned earlier, to the very first weekend. But, yeah, 2-1 win over Man United for Sheffield United. I mean, they've had a couple of impressive wins this year, Sheffield United, but, the likes of Tottenham, Arsenal and Chelsea have lost a lot of games and they're not top of the league, so I couldn't really say that this was the most impressive victory. They were the most impressive victories, but this one against Man United I would go with as the most impressive. 2-1 against the Man United team who went on to win the title. I'd go with this one, and it was the very first games of the Premier League era, with the first ever goal being scored in this game from Brian Deane is in Premier League history as well. So there's a little bit of a fact for you. Southampton, Swansea City 0, Southampton 1, May 2018. Yeah, another one from the 17-18 season. This has popped up a lot in this video. But yeah, I'm going to go with this one because I think without this win, I think Southampton could have been really struggling in the Championship. I mean, I felt like this was one where if Southampton didn't stay up in this season, it would have been a proper struggle for them. But now they have stayed up. They've got Ralph Hasenhüttl and they're doing really well. I think that they can be very relieved this result happened. I mean, Southampton have had some impressive results in the Premier League era as well, don't get me wrong, but I think significant-wise, this was massive for them. They were going downhill at this point, Southampton, really in trouble. It was a winner-take-all match against Swansea, and they did win 1-0, thanks to a Mario Gabbiadini goal. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with this one. Massive result for Southampton in this grand scheme of things. When you look at the comfortably sitting mid-table now, and they've had a pretty impressive season. I'd go with this 1-0 win, which kept them in the Premier League a couple of years ago. Tottenham Hotspur, Man City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1, May 2010. Yeah, sounds a bit weird that I'm actually picking one from this long ago for Tottenham, of course, 10 years ago. But this win got Tottenham into the Champions League for the first time ever, so that is definitely worth mentioning. So, yeah, I mean, this win, I can't really think of another one for Tottenham because they haven't won the title and they've been getting top four regularly. I'd probably go with this one because it did get them into the Champions League for the first time ever, and this win really felt massive. This was pretty much winner-take-all as well. If Man City had won this, they'd have got it, but Tottenham won it 1-0 thanks to a Peter Crouch goal. And yeah, Tottenham went on to get to the Champions League quarter-final as well. Didn't do like a massive amounts in the long run for them because they had one solid season in the Champions League, but still, it was massive at the time for them to get Champions League football. Watford 3, Liverpool 0, 2019-20. So yeah, this was the other one from this season I was going to mention, and I think this is easily Watford's biggest win of the Premier League era against the Liverpool team who were unbeaten for over a year. This win came out of absolute nowhere. Still don't know how it happened to this day. But yeah, I mean, Watford host Liverpool at Vicarage Road, and they just won 3-0 against a very good Liverpool team. The Liverpool team that have won the league this year. A Liverpool team who hadn't lost in 40-something games. And it's just a crazy game, and Watford, I don't know where this came from. And when you look at Watford's form since, it really makes you wonder, how did they have this sort of performance in them? But they did, and yeah, it was a very, very impressive 3-0 win over Liverpool. So easily for me, their best win in the Premier League era performance-wise. How significant is it? We'll find out if they stay up this season. If they stay up, it would have been, but if they don't, then it wouldn't have been. So, yeah, West Ham, Man United 0, West Ham 1, May 2007. I mean, this was important for West Ham. I mean, it kept them up this season. It was a Carlos Tevez winner, who ironically would go on and join Man United the next season. But, yeah, so West Ham had a pretty miserable 06-07 season, the one when they signed Mascherano and Tevez. And then the final day of the final day of the season, Tevez pops up with a 1-0 winner against already crowned champions Man United to keep West Ham in the Premier League. And it was looking so unlikely they were going to stay in the Premier League all season. This was certainly a shock. But yeah, I mean, this was massive for West Ham at the time, especially because they could have gone into a bit of a meltdown in the Championship. I think this in the long run did them very good, even though they have been relegated since. But still, this did do West Ham very good, and a very impressive win to beat champions United away as well. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Manchester United 1, February 2011. Yeah, weird again, I've gone back this far for Wolves. Of course, Wolves' best Premier League form has came over the last couple of years. But I'm going to go with this one, though, because obviously Man United at this point were unbeaten. It was February. No one really gave a relegation-threatened Wolves a chance. And this win wasn't only impressive from Wolves, it was very significant as well, because Wolves stayed up at the end of the season just. So they might have looked back on this game at home to Man United, the team who went on to win the title quite comfortably. And, a 2-1 win, 1-0 down in the game as well. It was quite, mad at the time, really, for Wolves to, beat Man United because, there was so much a gap between them. But, no, I'd definitely say this was Wolves' biggest win, because how much they also did from in this season. But surprisingly, I've not gone for a Wolves result the last couple of years when they have certainly been at their best. But this one, when Wolves were a much weaker team, was definitely the most impressive anyway to beat Man United 2-1. But yeah, that's my video. Thank you for watching. If you change anything, please let me know in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and I'll be back soon with more football content. Thank you very much.